Hey everyone, and today I will be talking about the sun falling into someone or yours, into your 12th house, and what often happens. How do things play out? What do you feel? What do you experience? So I'm going to get into my notes and get this jumping. So when the sun, representing our vitality, identity and purpose, sits in the 12th house, in synastry, and it's often a mysterious and often deeply transformative energy entering into the relationship, because this is the higher realms. This is planes, astral planes that we don't see with our naked eye. Only our soul and our spirit can transcend, can float, move, to these places. Our physical cannot. But anyway, so a sense of hidden depths and shared karma often emerges as displacement signifies a connection that transcends the mundane. So this is a very unorthodox, unique relationship. And when I say relationship, I'm talking about in all aspects, whether it's your friend, your family. You will feel, well, this depends, but you will feel a sense of like there's no boundaries. It's like you and them become one. It can be uncomfortable, but anyway. So let me talk about the sun, because I know some people are new to astrology. So, and this could be their first time hearing this. So the sun in astrology is the core essence of an individual, symbolizing one, or your identity, ego, and sense of self. It is the central force around which all other aspects of the personality revolve around, much like the sun in our solar system. So that's pretty much, the sun. But also, of course, where your sun is in your chart, it will also show and reveal where you shine and where you showcase your primary drive and ambitions. So if your sun is in Leo and it's in the 10th house, you will often find that your creative pursuits play out in the public sphere. So people most likely will see your see your art in the public. So you could be a well-known artist, for example, because Leo, it rules creativity, it rules children, it rules love, it rules adventure, like the 9th house. It's not the same, but I feel like adventure falls under the 5th house as well, because you're having fun, you're being childlike, you're being kiddish, So anyway, so now with the 12th house is the hidden realms of our psyche, our subconscious mind, and the mysterious is beneath the surface of our everyday lives. It's things that are hidden. And the 12th house is often associated with dreams, intuition, and spiritual enlightenment, things that are hidden and unseen. As the 12th house also governs institutions, such as hospitals, prisons, places where we might find ourselves confined, but also where profound transformation can occur. So, yes. So let's get into it. So when someone's sun enters your 12th house, it can feel like a sudden, I call it a fireball. I would say a fireball, because we all have a protected layer around us spiritually. Some of us have a stronger aura than others. It all depends on our lifestyle. But when someone's sun enters your 12th house, it literally cuts through that barrier. It feels like a sudden burst of energy breaking through your protective shield. There we go. Like a fireball, again, appearing out of nowhere. You feel vulnerable, you feel exposed, you feel naked, because it's it can be a weird feeling. Not in a bad or good way, or it's just those that have experienced this will know what I'm talking about. But anyway, even though you feel vulnerable and you feel exposed by this person, either way, sun or, because with synastry, I don't like to get caught up in the whole the planet person feels this more, the house person feels this more, because it can go either way, or if not both people feeling this energy out, or it could be one person. That does happen. But anyway, so although you will feel exposed and feel naked and feel uncomfortable, there's also a sense of feeling acknowledged, feeling seen, because despite attempts to conceal yourself, the sun rays the 12th house. It illuminates everything. The 12th house is dark. It's somewhat neglected, not neglected like, oh, it's neglected, like, unless you make a conscious effort to attend to it, focus on it, you'll never know what's really there, because it's yours. This is the thing, some people will say the 12th house is a subconscious, mind, but I honestly feel like it's the subconscious and the unconscious, if not the unconscious more, because you have to be aware. You have to be at a certain point in life, or have someone come to you to make you realize some things about yourself that you're completely unaware about, because it's hidden, it's in your unconscious mind, it's repressed. So the 12th house individual may not feel prepared to confront the unknown. It all depends on where this individual is in their life, because some people, they may never uncover certain matters in this lifetime. Their soul may not be ready to confront that part of their life, and they'll freak out and they'll run away. That's why sometimes you'll find people that have 12th house synastry, more so with the sun, because the sun is fire, it's intimidating, it's uncomfortable to have the sun come into your 12th house, because the 12th house is a water house. It's foggy, it's cloudy, it's murky, it's a lot going on, so to have someone, it's steamy, it becomes steamy because the sun is going in a water house. So that's why you'll find sometimes people running away. Sorry, that's my sofa making that noise. You'll find often people running away, ghosting, disappearing with 12th house synastry, but more specifically I'd say the sun. But anyway, now like I said, the person may not be ready to uncover these behavioral patterns. Both people, quite frankly, there's subconscious influences, both positive and negative, play a significant role in guiding them, you and the other person, because all our behaviors, all our drives, they mold our choices and our outcome and how things play out in life. So the native of the sun in the 12th house find themselves drawn to the partner's inner world, yearning to understand their deepest fears, dreams, and insecurities. They want to know everything about you, everything from the good, the bad, the ugly. They want to know. But again, some people may not be comfortable or ready to share this part of themselves, especially if this is a situation or an individual where they've never exposed or shared certain vulnerabilities or repressed emotions or feelings. Because when someone's sun comes into your 12th house and you have a lot of repressed trauma or emotions, you can feel like you're being shaken up, it can be uncomfortable. But because of this, the sun wanting to know, again, it can go both ways, wanting to know their fears, their dreams and insecurities, this can lead to like a profound sense of intimacy, fostering a safe place for vulnerability and emotional healing. So with this aspect, you can, there is the potential to heal one another, if done in a healthy way and not a reckless way. But this is where the sun may reveal things that a person's doesn't always see. So again, so you could point out to the person, like, I feel like you behave this way because of A, B, and C. And they'll be like, really? You think that? And then they'll be like, And then they reflect on that. Because again, you'll be able to see things that they don't. And vice versa. But this also varies because, again, this all depends on if you are a 12th house natal person yourself, or you have a lot of Pisces in your chart, or you have a lot of Neptune, because you'll be used to this energy. But it all plays a role because you could have challenging aspects in your chart. or restrictions, or have Saturn restricting something, or making an aspect to where it doesn't, it's not so easy sailing, so smooth sailing, should I say, because that can make a difference. Because if you are used to the 12th house synastry, if you're used to the 12th house energy, you will feel right at home with this person. And even if it's just one of you used to this energy, because of your awareness and your knowledge, this helps you to have an understanding and for you to be patient and allowing either or the house person to come around and to feel centered and grounded, because both of you will feel like you're not on the planet when you're with each other. You'll feel like you're in the air, like you'll feel floaty, but you'll be able to guide this person. Okay, now the 12th house person may see you as a spiritual teacher, or again, both ways. I don't want to keep repeating myself, so just remember what I'm saying to you. This can go both ways. The 12th house person may see you as a spiritual teacher, intuitive and psychic. You can be very good with your psychic abilities, able to hear things, see things, premonitions and so forth. They may have have some higher intellect, some higher wisdom to share with you, much like a guru, someone of like a high priestess, of a higher frequency. You may see each other as one another's like guardian angels as well, but this will most likely be with the 12th house person. But again, it can go either way. Okay, you might also find yourself having a lot in common as well. Metaphysics, astrology, physics in general, occult, dreams, the subconscious mind, so psychology. Crystals, tarot cards, astral projection, chakras, all of those topics that Pisces, Neptune is all about, incense sticks, sage, Palo Santo, all of that, frankincense, essential oils, all that good stuff, plants even, okay, getting caught up with one another to the point that the whole day is gone, Also, you guys might indulge in drugs and alcohol together because it is the 12th house. But if you have addictions, then you could become aware that you're actually addicted. Maybe you're someone that was smoking for years and you just never realized that, I have an addiction. And then someone comes along and they're like, you know what, you may have a problem here, and then but you both could get caught up in that, so it just depends. But yeah, you can get lost with one another, being in each other's presence, because it's as though you guys are in a dream, a fantasy, because essentially you are, when together you're not on this planet, you're not on this plane, you're in the 12th house, you're elsewhere. And because of this, you will miss each other when you're not around one another, but you will feel like you're still with each other because you're constantly thinking about one another. You're connected like for a psychic link, like you're connected. And you may find that you sleep better with this person, but depending on on certain aspects on the other hand of the spectrum, this person could disturb your sleep. Maybe when you sleep next to them, you find yourself having dreams, disturbing dreams, negative dreams. But you guys being together, it could help you develop your psychic and spiritual talents, your gifts. You may be able to see things happen before they happen, working on your intuition and it becoming stronger. Now, on the other hand, the sun person, with their intriguing behavior, wanting to dive into the subconscious mind of the person, they may get some apprehension, some resistance as well. But they also want to know about the person's childhood as well, just piecing together like why they are the way they are, why they work the way they work, But the house person and the sun person, they have a special type of adoration for one another. They adore each other. They love each other. There's like a selfless, unconditional love, where you just feel seen, you feel loved, you feel appreciated, you just feel... It's a beautiful feeling, to just feel like someone has your back and they listen to you, they acknowledge you, they just they see what it is that you need, you know. And there's usually like a subtle feeling like you may have known each other in a past life, or you've known them, and that's possible that you have, you know, and there's some unresolved karma that needs to play out in this lifetime, especially if there's like Venus involved or any other planets in there that kind of boost this up as well, because of the more 12th house synastry, the more intense and flighty it will feel, especially if there's no Saturn involved as well. But also, there's a major ability to understand each other and who they both are individually. And they both want to know more about each other, and they respect each other more incredibly as well. Because you, again, you have the potential to heal one another through unconditional love, kindness, and acceptance. But I do want to talk about the flip side of this, because it's not all roses and champagne and wine. It can be scotch and jalapenos, you know. It can be quite it can be because this is the thing, because it's the 12th house, this is a very sensitive house, okay? And with you sharing your vulnerabilities or someone, because there's no end or start with this, and you might feel like, although you might try to exert yourself and assert boundaries, that you're not being respected. So that can be the other end of this as well, you know, harsh words, because this, you can really hurt one another with this aspect. You really can. And I advise people to be so aware, you know, because your words hit deep. Whatever you say to one another, you will remember for the rest of your life, good and bad, doesn't matter, okay? Because one person could be taking from the other, you know, just taking and taking, a bit like an energy vampire, and one having the upper hand and using the person's vulnerability against them, you know, one providing love and the other withholding, or just taking and draining, using energies, breaking boundaries, not respecting boundaries as well. You know, it can be hard. I'm just trying to make sure that I've covered what I've wanted to cover. I'm sorry, guys. I mentioned addictions. Okay, so now, because the 12th house is associated with sacrifice, isolation, and subconscious patterns, the relationship can be quite out of pocket sometimes. So one of you guys may feel the need to isolate yourselves in a time of need, especially if you feel overwhelmed, because this can be quite intense. Someone might find themselves sacrificing parts of themselves that they wouldn't usually do, you know, changing yourself or repressing yourself to fit into this person's narrative, which I don't recommend. Don't ever change yourself for someone or repress you. Just being yourself, you know, don't do that. Now, because of the 12th house, this relationship definitely can feel like no one knows about it, and you can hide this relationship from people, and people will look at you too like, these two, you know, there's something about their relationship that's just unworldly. Or was it outward? No, unworldly, I think it is. So the relationship may feel intensely private, even secretive, and as a couple, relationship wise, it could feel like, you know, there's periods of withdrawal and emotional intensity. Intimacy is something that will happen for sure, but it also depends on how comfortable you two are and what your emotional patterns are, you know, because if you're someone that sadly experienced, you know, some sort of abuse, you know, and that can go for all rounds, physically, verbally, sexually, then you may not be as forthcoming, because this person's energy might make you feel, you know, having the sun in your 12th house, this may make you feel a bit uncomfortable. You might find yourself quite mute as well, around this person, like you feel stuck or stagnated as well. But ultimately, the sun in the 12th house can also bring a sense of spiritual connection, encouraging growth through shared experiences of solitude, meditation, and spiritual practices. So you may find yourself meditating with this person, doing yoga with this person, praying as well, if that's something that you are, something that you do. Doing some healing in regards to the chakras as well, But this is an aspect where it signifies an enduring and often profound connection that will push you. It will push both partners to delve deeper into their own selves and their relationship. And when you come out of this, you will be different. You will be transformed. Maybe not the same as, an 8th house or a sun aspect in Pluto, but you definitely will feel different after meeting this person, because you may find that you're more spiritually grounded after meeting this person. And now you may not be with each other for a long period, because it's the 12th house. So maybe once you've learned the lessons that you need to learn, you find yourself becoming emotionally distant with one another, or one of you lets go. It all depends. It just all depends. But worst case, this can be quite volatile. It just depends on the aspects here. You could find someone being emotionally abusive to you, and I hope that's not the case. But open communication is very important with this, all right? Because if you don't communicate, it can cause a lot of problems and misunderstandings as well. Respect is crucial with this synastry, okay? Try not to be secretive. Try not to hide anything that could be detrimental at a later date, because what happens, it eventually comes to the surface as well. But don't sacrifice yourself. Don't be completely selfless to the point that one is taking advantage, because you'll feel burdened. You'll feel emotionally drained as well if you allow this to manifest in a unhealthy manner. Now let me just make sure that I've covered everything. I believe I have, but also you might find yourself traveling with this person. So travel is a potential as well with this, because of the 12th house falls under, foreign lands fall under the 12th house. But the relationship can be confusing. That's nothing new with this being a 12th house as well. But just be clear, like I've mentioned earlier, that if you're not sure about something, just make sure that you don't quiet yourself, or you don't make your needs or what it is that you want vocal, because you can feel uncomfortable in this house. It just depends on how much emotional baggage you have and how much healing you've done. But because the sun person can see the house person as exotic and fascinating and even otherworldly or strange, because they can have this strange fascination with the house person that you can't quite understand, since the house person seems so different. They seem like so godly, you can adore this person, you think they're a goddess, an empress. You're just drawn to one another and you're curious, and that's why you go and pick at their minds. You may have some unusual experiences together, but you might find that you can't read this person. They might be difficult for you to read, or you could find each other unpredictable. There could be misunderstandings, like you might feel like they don't understand you nor approve of you. And just make sure what you're seeing is what you're seeing, because it is the 12th house. and there can be like a foggy barrier of confusion, because sometimes it can feel like even though you're talking the language that you're talking, whether it's English, Spanish, Arabic, it's like sometimes you're not getting one another as well. And you might look at each other like, why are we even with each other? Why do we even know each other? But you find this overlay in a lot of marriages. You do. You'd be surprised. But maintaining this type of relationship, it does require a lot of patience though. This is not impossible. You just have to be aware. It's more so if you're not aware. If you're aware, then you know how to what's the word, maneuver. But yeah, just be aware of how much you're sacrificing. But I'm going to leave it there. But yeah, in terms of relationships, lovely, beautiful, unconditional. But again, this could turn sour. It just depends on how much one another respects each other, how much they're aware, not taking advantage, not taking someone's kindness for weakness. A lot of intimacy, cuddling, holding. Is it tantric sex? I think it is. That can happen with this as well. But just being with each other, just being in the room, quiet, just the presence alone just makes you feel complete, And you might see this person 1 minute and then you don't see them for a while, and then when you see them again, it's just like the last time you saw them, like nothing's changed, But just be careful. But anyway, guys, that's my interpretation of of how things can play or whatever with the sun in the 12th house. I'll be doing the other planets soon. I also have Venus in the 12th house, the moon in the 12th house, and then I have a audio generally speaking about the 12th house as well, but I'm going to get on to Saturn and Mercury, Jupiter, Neptune, Uranus and Pluto. Anyway, take care, guys, and I'll speak to you soon. Feel free to share your experiences in the comments below, and be safe, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.